Goedemorgen dames en heren, welkom hier op Podium TV voor de laatste etappe in de Healthy Aging Tour voor junior vrouwen. Omdat deze uitzending veel internationale kijkers trekt en we dit ook online uitzenden, zal het commentaar in het Engels zijn. Good morning, welcome here in the north of the Netherlands. This is the third and last stage of the Healthy Aging Tour for junior women, the third race in the UCI Junior Women Nations Cup. Yesterday we saw a fantastic solo victory for Femke Gerritsen of the WV Schijndel. And today we have one last stage to go of 77.5 kilometers, 5 laps around the Old Amsmeer, a lake. And we are in Midwolda, which is in the north of the Netherlands, just a bit east of the capital city of the province of Groningen, also aptly called Groningen. A big peloton. We are down to about 107 riders with Megan Jestrap in the yellow jersey. She also owns the points jersey, the green jersey and the white jersey because she's only a first year junior racer. But the points jersey, the green jersey, is being worn by Femke Gerritsen and the white jersey by the Polish lady Wielowska. The orange jersey, Maaike van der Duin of Swabo. We've got 3 leaders at the moment with Elliot King of the British cycling team, Vasilkova from Belarusia, and just again, like she was very active yesterday in the snow and in the hail, Danique Hengeveld of the Swabo Ladies Development Team. They have a slight gap of about 7 seconds as is indicated on your screen. We've got about an hour and 15 minutes of racing left. Just had the first sprint for the orange jersey. I am awaiting the results of that sprint to see what happens in that classification. We know that Maaike van der Duin, after that sprint that she took yesterday, has a lead of has 6 points in total. And there are many riders who are on 3 points, including Eleanor Bakstedt, Lea Waldhof, Jewel Pauwman and Megan Jestrap. So with still 6 points in this stage, it's very exciting to see who will win that orange jersey for the intermediate sprint classification. Elliot King, one of the riders for the British team. She's of course riding her heart out just like Danique Hengeveld, and we saw Danique yesterday. She attacked over and over and over again. Unfortunately for her, that didn't result in a good result in the stage, but she really showed that she was a very attractive rider, a very exciting rider to watch. And yet again, she tries to break away, giving her all. She's one of those tall Dutch riders for which the Dutch are known. Of course, we're not all tall, but Danique, she's pretty tall, she's pretty powerful. And she's used to these conditions, riding in the wind, riding with the rain. Fortunately today, no rain. No rain predictions as well, but it's a bit windy, but not windy enough as it seems to really split the field. But who knows what will happen in the remainder of this race. So far, this has been the only action we've seen. So all in all, it has not been really, really exciting. Maaike van der Duin, it's been confirmed, has won the sprint, the first sprint for the orange jersey. So that is great news for her. That gets her total to 9. And if she finishes the race, the rider from Assen, which is not that far away from here, she's actually focused on getting that orange jersey, and she got the orange jersey. So great racing by Maaike van der Duin, who's been very attacking in recent days. Maaike van der Duin, a rider who's been, well, always on top of her categories. As I explained before, in the Netherlands we have categories from the age of 8. So riders who turn 8 this year. So this year those are riders born in 2011. We have mixed categories in the Netherlands. So the boys are always 1 year younger than the girls. And that sometimes makes a difference, but not always, because sometimes you have these years like the year 2002, riders born in that year. We can see them, Maaike van der Duin, Daphne Kreulen, riders from that age. They have been very powerful throughout the categories, but sometimes you have categories where the boys are dominant. So It's a decision made by the Dutch Cycling Union to have mixed categories because boys are usually stronger, but it depends. Sometimes we have stronger girls and sometimes you have stronger boys. Danique Hengeveld, Vasilkova and Elionet King, and then a rider from France trying to bridge across with number 55. She is from the regional track team in France, Kristina Nenadovic. Smooth pedaling style on the drops. And some more attacking happening there at the front of the bunch. Small rider, this rider from Belarus, the national team, Hanna Vasilkova. Elionet King, one of the riders from the British team, taking her turns, but the strongest in the breakaway seems to be Danique Hengeveld. Julia Borgström at the front of the peloton now, trying to chase with one of the girls from Belgium. One of the girls from the APB team, and then everybody strung out after that roundabout. You can see that the pace is up. They want to close that gap on the three leaders because we are getting towards the finish line again. Well, it's another 7 kilometers, but at the finish line there's bonification seconds up for grabs, 3, 2 and 1. If we look at the general classification, the gaps are pretty big, with Jastrap leading Backstedt with 8 seconds, 9 seconds on the winner of yesterday's stage, Femke Gerritsen, 15 seconds on the Polish rider Wielowska, and also 15 seconds on Lieke Nooijen. And then a really big group of riders are all in the same time, but Megan Jastrap, she has been pretty dominant so far. She took 6 seconds with her second place yesterday and 10 seconds with her win on the first day of this Healthy Aging Tour. So it will be difficult for a rider like Eleanor Backstedt to bridge those 8 seconds. But of course she will have to try in this first sprint, trying to pick up the 3 seconds that she needs to just inch a little bit closer to the strong American rider Megan Jastrap from the USA Cycling National Team. Well, roads are dry, and this is a part on the course where riders are trying to do something, and the breakaway is reeled back in like it's nothing. There in the orange jersey we can see Maaike van der Duin, also Maddie Wadsworth in the colours of Story Racing Team. Ella Barnwell has been really active with Eleanor Backstedt. We can see Backstedt at the left side of the road there, just taking a little bit of shelter behind the Norwegian rider. And then Silke Smulders of the VV Schijndel team coming to the front. Well, 37k, we're about halfway into this stage, so time for Silke Smulders to get some gels in. This is a new development plan. It's called the Blauwe Stad, or the Blue City, this region of the Netherlands. Another attack here by the rider from Team GB. They're pretty active. It's the British Cycling Junior team with Amy Monkhouse, Sophie Lewis, Elionet King and Lena Smith. Amy Monkhouse, she's been doing pretty well in the National Series so far, National Road Series. They call her Monkey on the team, and I asked her and got her permission to call her Monkey on air too. chased down by two of the riders of the Dolcini team. The development team for the Belgian UCI team of Dolcini van Eyck. With amongst others Julie de Wilde. And Julie is one of the riders who can bunny hop the barriers in cyclocross. There's only about 3 or 4 girls who can do that. In the men's cyclocross, it's pretty normal to bunny hop across the barriers about 30-35 centimeters in height. And if I recall correctly, Julie de Wilde comes from a BMX background, so she knows how to ride her bike and to use her bike as a stunt bike. And I saw her racing in Loenhout at the end of December, and it was pretty impressive what she did there. Only a few riders in the women's peloton in cyclocross can jump the barriers, and Julie de Wilde is one of them. We're 5k out from the finish line. The final of this lap, this 15.6 kilometer lap, is a tailwind lap, which makes it interesting for a rider to break away, just like we saw yesterday with Femke Gerritsen. Also the last 5-6k of the lap yesterday in Heerenveen were tailwind, which was very beneficial for her. And I think that today an attack like that might have a chance, and it might be the only chance to eliminate the lady in yellow there, Megan Jestrap, because she's so powerful in the sprint. Silke Smulders trying again to break away. We can see the rider from Belarus again, Vasilkova, and also I think it's Ilse Grit from the APB team. Well, it sure seems that the Team GB girls are racing together. They are two separate teams. The national team from Great Britain, like we have in total 13 national teams, and the British Cycling Junior Academy, the former Team Breeze, I recall. They are working together, and that is, of course, an advantage if you've got 4 or 8 riders. Some very important seconds, and if Megan Jestrap succeeds in getting those 3 seconds on the finish line in about 4 kilometers, she will make a huge move towards the overall win, because that means that she can potentially take a lead of 11 seconds on Eleanor Bakstedt. And even if Bakstedt wins the race here in a sprint, she only gets 10 seconds. So this is a very important sprint. You can see that both Bakstedt, the number 2 in the race and number 2 in the race, and Jestrap are very alert at the front, knowing that these seconds are waiting for them. Mike van der Duin in the orange jersey. And as we're approaching the finish line again in Midwolda, everybody seems to be a tad bit nervous. Of course, we've had some long stages already. This is the third day, and the junior women, they don't get to ride a stage race that often. So it's about recovery, it's about sleeping well, it's about regaining that focus for another day of racing. And you can see that one of the American riders, I think it's Katie Klaus, very good cyclocross rider as well. She's patrolling at the front of the bunch for her team captain, Jastrab Backstedt. And Backstedt has got Jastrab on her wheel. Also Ilse Grit, she will want to have some of those bonus seconds because it might mean that she can move up just a little bit in the overall. Grit is currently 6th, and taking 2 seconds means that she can move to taking 3 seconds means that she can move to 4th place in the overall. So it's important for her to stay at the front as well, the rider from the APB team. No. The American rider shakes her head and tries to explain to the French rider, my captain, Megan Jastrab, is behind me, and I'm not working with you to try and create a gap here. I'm just sitting on your wheel. Well, she's trying again, the French rider, but she must know that this is not how the game works. Of course, the American rider has to protect the interests of Megan Jastrab, who really wants those 3 bonus seconds waiting on the line here. And she looks behind her to see where her team captain is. Looking for the yellow jersey. We can see her on the left side of the road, moving up on the wheel of Backstedt. Both of them, the number 2 and number 1 in the overall classification, are riding at the front. Also riding a great race is young Maddie Wadsworth. She is 16th in the overall classification, and a lot of riders are at 19 seconds from the lead. So picking up 3 points might mean that they make a huge leap in the overall classification, getting them into the top 10. So these 3 seconds are interesting to many riders in this peloton. Getting into the finish straight, we see Eleanor Backstedt on the left, Kanoyan through the middle. It's Megan Jastrab. She is so powerful. She takes the 3 seconds. Backstedt takes 2. And we have a mechanical problem for one of the German riders. Jastrab takes these points, well, pretty easily. It looked like Femke Gerritsen was also part of this sprint in green. And maybe we can see a repeat of the sprint just a little bit later. But it was pretty obvious that Megan Jastrab took those 3 seconds here, and that means that she extends her lead on Eleanor Backstedt to 9 seconds, which means that if Backstedt wins the stage and Jastrab is 4th or less, Eleanor Backstedt can still win the overall. But Jastrab showed how powerful she is, and we saw that on the sprint on the first day. Yesterday she had to sprint for 2nd because one rider got clear, and maybe that's the plan that Eleanor Backstedt should hatch now as well, to get clear of this pretty amazing Megan Jastrab. She is the next best thing in junior racing, and she has been winning in junior categories, in U16 categories, all on restricted gearing. She rides races with the pros of, for example, Team Tipco and her pro teammates or her elite teammates at Rally Pro Cycling. And she races those races on junior gearing, so restricted gearing, making it all the more incredible that she wins races like Redlands, for example. She is the next best thing, and this is the first time we get to see her race on the Healthy Aging Tour. The first time we have a live stream of a UCI Junior Women Nations Cup, and it's a fantastic way to get to know the stars of the future. Julia Borgström, she is the champion of Sweden, and a very good rider at it as well. She is number 9 at the moment in the overall classification, ahead of today's stage, and she gets a nice little gap as we leave the town of Midwolda and going back towards the lake. Like I said, the lake, it's called the Old Amt Meer, or the Old Amt Lake, is a lake that was created to give this region a little bit of an economic impulse when industrialization and most of all mechanization happened in agricultural world a few decennia back. This region was getting poorer. It's a pretty impoverished region, one of the poorest regions of the Netherlands, the northeast of Groningen. And they try to give this region an economic impulse by creating this Old Amt Meer, to create some tourist activity, but also a big new development plan called the Blauwe Stad, the Blue City. But in the end, the plan seemed to be a little bit ambitious, because they had hoped to sell about 1,500 houses, but things were not moving that fast, also because of the big economic crisis. There were years, a few years back, that they only sold like 2, 3, 4 houses a year. Well, if your ambition is to sell 1,400, selling 3 houses a year is, well, it's not a great result, to be honest. So they tried to create some economic buzz in the region, but, well, when back in the 70s, 80s, the economic crisis, the global oil crisis also hit this part of the country. Many of the young people moved to the west to get jobs, and only older people remained. And it's still one of the poorer regions of the country. I must say that the Blauwe Stad, that development plan, is really beautiful. But, well, the difficult thing is that living here is beautiful. It's a beautiful part of the country, but there's just no jobs, or not enough jobs for you to be living here. Okay, back to the racing, where Borgström is now about 15 seconds ahead of this bunch, led by one of the riders of the Dolcini team. Well, they try to mark a bad bit of asphalt here, but of course, oh, it's Femke Gerritsen on the deck there, the rider in the green jersey, and there's these cones on the road. Oh, a big crash for one of the riders for Team GB as well, number 57, and she seems to be in a lot of pain as well. Can't find my start list now. That's very inconvenient. 57 is Amy Monkhouse here. She's being tended to by one of the paramedics. Femke Gerritsen tries to continue her race, but I just wonder, well, why are these cones on the road? They try to protect a bad bit of asphalt, and of course the riders have passed this stretch of the road before, but you just cannot see far ahead of you if you're riding in a bunch. So crashes are bound to happen here. Amy seems to be in a lot of pain, and I don't think she can finish this race. Such a sad sight to see for Amy Monkhouse. She's been on a roll so far in the National Junior Series in the UK, but well, this is not a good end for her here in the Healthy Aging Tour. Confirmation of the sprint. Megan Jestrap takes 3 seconds, 2 seconds for Eleanor Bakstedt, 3 seconds for Lieke Nooyen. So that means that the gap between Bakstedt, this is a replay of that sprint. And well, backstep was pretty close, I should say, but surrendered. You can see Maddie Wadsworth there as well. She came in 4th in this sprint, and Femke Gerritsen is being piloted back to the bunch behind the WV Schijndel team car. Some great skill here by Femke Gerritsen. She really rides close to the car, and taking shelter behind the car means that she well, I've just been informed that on the first lap, one of the one of the Swedish riders crashed on those same cones, and that is Wilma Olausson. And Olausson was the number 7 in the GC. She came in 4th in Gent-Wevelgem, 5th in Trofeo Binda. So Wilma Olausson, the Swedish rider, is one of the more prominent junior riders. And she is DNF. She's out of this race because of a crash at those cones. And also Femke Gerritsen went down pretty hard. It's a pretty weird thing to be putting those cones there, and they were not there on the recon ride before. Of course, you want to mark some bad spots on the road, but this was not a very sensitive thing to do. But of course, we do not know the reasons why the organisers put those cones there, so better not speculate. Fact is that Wilma Olausson, teammate of Julia Borgström, is out of the race, and she was on her way to a top 10 place in the overall. Femke Gerritsen trying to get back to the peloton here. The team car brought her back as far as she could, but now she has to wait for a new bottle. Unfortunately for her, her team manager cannot hit the gas there to give her that last little push, because there were some cars in front of him. But I think the intention of the team manager giving a bottle just there when she was about 10 meters behind the peloton was to give her that last extra push, but one of the jury cars kind of prevented that. We're going back to a complete peloton, because this attack by Julia Borgström is not going to be successful either. Femke Gerritsen, yesterday's winner. Her bib shorts torn. That was a pretty nasty crash. Also involved was Amy Monkhouse. I don't think that she will return to the bunch. And in the first lap, it was Wilma Olausson at the gap. Yeah, you can see one of the people there indicating the danger. Well, it's a choice that you have to make, of course, because these big tears in the asphalt are potentially very dangerous as well. But these cones, they have also wreaked havoc on the peloton so far. So it's a very difficult choice to make by the organisers. Indicate the problems. So it's a difficult choice to make for the organisers, but so far we lost some riders due to that part of the asphalt. Julia Borgström, she will be caught again as we're halfway into this penultimate lap. We're going to take a little break. back to racing here, where Julia Borgström still has a gap of about 13 seconds. It appeared that she was about to be reeled back in before we went to the break, but well, that's not true. She still keeps her lead. Of course, she is now without her team captain, Wilma Olofsson, because she is out of the race due to a crash. But Borgström herself is also 9th in the overall, so she will be vying for the title of best rider from Sweden. Of course, Sweden has a nice history of riders back in the days with Susanna Lundberg, for example, Emma Johansson, one of the world-class riders, and at the moment one of the top Swedish riders is Emilia Fahlin. So they have a nice tradition when it comes to juniors, and a nice tradition in cycling as well. And this is the new generation that we can see in this Healthy Aging Tour, and it's such a great thing that we can show you this race live all over the world. So wherever you're watching, very much welcome here in the north of the Netherlands, where it's sunny but still very cold, about 5 to 6 degrees. So you can see that many of the riders are wearing arm warmers, leg warmers, shoe covers even. Especially yesterday was pretty gruesome to many of the riders, so big respect and big thumbs up to them for finishing that race and making it a very exciting one to watch as well. So if you're watching this from wherever you are in the world, this is the future of women's cycling. And if you look at the winners in the past, these winners have all grown up or are about to grow up to big class riders themselves. It's not just a race to win. Krista Riffel in 2016, she's now with the Canyon SRAM team. Caroline Swinkels was on the podium that year. She's now with the Ale Cipollini team. Unfortunately, Anna de Ruiter, she's suffering with some illness. In 2017, Lorena Wiebes won the race. She's now, of course, with the Park Hotel Valkenburg team, netting 2 second places in World Tour races already. Amber van der Hulst, she is the best club rider at the moment in the big Healthy Aging Tour. Number 3 in 2017, Emma Norsgaard. She's with the Bigla team, and last year the podium was Fiver Georgie, who's now part of Team Sunweb. Marta Jaskolska, who is only a first-year junior, but racing pretty well in the big Healthy Aging Tour. And Lonneke Uneken, she was 3rd last year, and she has been very active and very good in the big race, the big Elite Women Healthy Aging Tour. And she has a home race today, Lonneke Uneken. So we will see her later today at 2 p.m. in the Elite Women final stage. So it is a big race for the junior women, and this is the place where you can see them in action. These are the numbers 1 and 2 in the general classification, and Eleanor Beck said she's trying everything to get rid of Megan Jastrab. And then Ilse Grit continues her attack. Silke Smulders follows the small rider from the WV Schijndel team. And also Jastrab is following the moves here. She's countering everything. And she knows that she is just a 90-kilometer race away from taking the overall. Taking over here, the lead of Maud Rijnbeek. Jastrab, she is just very alert, very focused. But it looks like she has to do much of the work herself. Only a first-year junior, and currently leading 3 out of 4 classifications. Julie de Wilde on the left side of the road. One of the most talented riders in Belgium at the moment. Very tall girl, but she has a nice posture on the bike. On the drops now, Ella Barnwell trying to close that gap for her teammate Eleanor Buxted. Smulders is there. And an attack by another rider from a Belgian team, the Van Assen team. But nobody's following that move. We're about 2 kilometers out from the finish line again. They are experiencing a tailwind here. And normally that is beneficial if you want to try to attack, but of course you should wait until the last lap to do so and then go into full time trial mode and try to win this stage, because if you wait for the sprint, you know that you will be beaten most likely by the American rider in yellow. Well, now we've got 4 strong riders trying to do something. This might be an interesting move, although it's still quite early. At 17k from the finish line. Little arm flick there. Belgian rider hoping that somebody will take over. So far, only Maud Rijnbeek will do that. They have a different goal in the race, and that is taking home the team classification. The APB team in black here with the orange and black helmets. They're in the same time as the VV Schijndel, who are currently leading that classification. So, well, they will be looking for an overall victory in the team classification, being one of the dominant junior women's squads in the country. Chest strap is at the front of the bunch yet again. There's another lap to go, but she's marking the moves. Her only and biggest rival at the moment when it comes to those bonus seconds at the finish line is Eleanor Buxted. They are now 9 seconds apart. Maud Rijnbeek trying to get away here. 1 lap to go. Julie de Wilde, the rider in white for the Dolcini team.
Het is Maud Rijnbeek, maar ook Julie de Wilde en Julia van Bokhoven. Zij zitten dus op dit moment goed voor.
Julia van Bokhoven of the Schijndel team now taking the lead in the peloton. And Danique Hengeveld again for Swabo. She races a very active race. The tall rider in black with purple and blue. Very nice outfit they have at the Swabo team. Racing through the streets of Midwolda. This is true crit style in the Netherlands. A lot of these races are being organized in the Netherlands with twists and turns. And these Dutch riders, they learn the skill really, really early on. All back together. Hengeveld, Rijnbeek, one of the riders from the Van Assen team. Two riders left in the race. Nele van Assen, Katrijn de Klerk. And Danique Hengeveld again. Julie de Wilde yet again. But this is really, really way too early to try something. You cannot do a 14-kilometer time trial here. You have to wait until these last 6 to 7 kilometers. Well, we just had the last sprint for the orange jersey, won by Maud Rijnbeek, ahead of Julie de Wilde and Julia van Bokhoven, which means that Maaike van der Duin takes the win in that intermediate sprint classification, ahead of Eleanor Bakstedt, and Maud Rijnbeek comes in third. So a great win for the rider from the province of Drenthe. And she grew up about, I think, 20-25k from here. Maaike van der Duin. One of her big goals in her career was riding for the national team, which she did in Gent-Wevelgem. And that was only the beginning, because she is a rider to watch, Maaike van der Duin. So she gets to take home a nice jersey. Katrijn de Klerk was the Van Assen rider at the front, because her teammate Nele van Assen is all the way at the back. And Femke Gerritsen back in the bunch. She is the number 3 in the overall classification. But she's too far back in seconds, because she could not contend this. She could not contend the sprint for the bonus seconds. 1.5 lap to go. We get to that point again where we have the cones on the road. Last lap we saw that crash. Hopefully everything is okay now. You can see, you can hear the whistles of the people here. So far so good, thankfully. Everything is okay. Another stretch of asphalt. Riders warning each other. You can see those hands flicking, indicating that there's an obstacle on the road, and everybody gets through safely this time, thankfully. Julie de Wilde, a name to remember for the Dolcini team. A team with 3 Belgian girls and 1 Dutch girl, Roos Kloese. I think this might be Rose waving to some family members here, but I can't see her bib number at the moment. She is from the region, the south of the province of Drenthe, about 60-70k from here, so some family members are probably came out to watch. Little stretch of headwind here. Looking at Daphne Kreulen and an attack by the French riders. Moves are being counted by one of the American riders. Silke Smulders is the rider from VV Schijndel. French riders are really active. And one of the German riders, Silke Smulders, very active at the start of the race on Friday. We have a breakaway of 5 at the moment. 2 riders from the French team. No, it's one of the riders from the British team. It would be nice to see the numbers. It's Zoita Perez from USA Cycling. Daphne Kreulen on the left side of the peloton, going a little bit off-road there. Five riders, including Silke Smulders and Zoita Perez. And 3 still unidentified riders from France, from Great Britain and from Germany. And now we can see those bib numbers a little bit better. It's Elliot King just again on the attack. Number 31 is Paula Leonard, and the French rider, we have to look at her at the plate on her bike because we cannot see her bib number. Thank you very much, cameraman. It's Léa Curigny, one of the riders in the top 10 in Trofeo Binder. Rider from Germany is Paula Leonard, first-year junior. Silke Smulders, Curigny, Elliot King and Zoita Perez. Those are the 5 riders in the lead at the moment. But we're still 10k out from the finish line. Let's see what's happening there. One of the riders looks like Ella Barnwell for Team GB, patrolling at the front of the peloton. So we're getting into the Blauestad development plan again. Elliot King, she was part of an early breakaway today and she's trying it again. Paula Leonard, Silke Smulders, Léa Curigny and Zoita Perez, the 5 riders, and Danique Hengeveld at the front of the bunch for the Swabo team. Léa Curigny, she was 3rd in the Trofeo Binder in Italy. So she's a good climber. She will turn 18 next week, next Sunday. The rider from France. Zoita Perez is the rider for USA Cycling. The VV Schijndel have Silke Smulders in the lead again. The rider from the British Cycling Junior team is Elliot King, and the rider from the German team is Paula Leonard. Rider with number 13 at the front, Tuva Buurberg, and with 1:22 it's Maud Rijnbeek. with her teammate Rosalie van der Wolf with 1:24. They know that it is a possibility to try for an attack in the last 5 kilometers. But first, one of the riders for Team Drenthe is trying. It's Berit Houting. She is in the top 10 at the moment of the overall classification. So she's a strong rider. Also from the region, Berit Houting. Zoe Perez, she's not cooperating in this break. She knows, of course, that her teammate is behind her, the rider in yellow. This is Léa Curigné. She was on the podium in Italy. So a strong rider. Looks like she bought one of those Boels Dolmans bikes from last year. Every team usually sells off their equipment at the end of the season, so you can get a pro bike that has been maintained by pro mechanics for a lower price. And Léa Curigné, she bought one of the Boels Dolmans bikes of the 2018 season. The French rider, you can see the bike there, the Specialized S-Works in the Boels Dolmans colours. Well, the German rider, she's pretty powerful, and they're now getting into the stretch where they're going to have a tailwind, which means that they might become a danger for the overall, for the stage victory. We saw yesterday that you do not have to give them a big lead, because the lead of Femke Gerritsen was never bigger than a mere 8 to 9 seconds. And these 5 riders, they are working together. It looks like only the American rider is not cooperating very well. Though it seems like she's going to take a turn at the front of the group now. And in a flash we saw that from the bunch, some of the riders are trying to bridge across. They can see that this is a dangerous move, a potentially dangerous move. So the pace will be up in the peloton as well. The Norwegian team is leading the chase at the moment. Also Maud Rijnbeek working very hard today at the front of the bunch. And then this move will be reeled back in again. Though the German rider really feels that she has a chance. She keeps riding at the front. Her name is Paula Leonard. Silke Smulders, she has been attacking all week and saw that yesterday her teammate had a very successful attack, and she knows that it's possible to stay away in this bunch. Stay away from the bunch, actually. So they must commit to this chase. Alienette King, Léa Curigné, Leonard Smulders and Zoe Perez. And then Julie de Wilde. It looks like it's Julie de Wilde trying to bridge across again. But it might also be one of her teammates, Roos Kloeze. Let's wait for confirmation of who the chaser is. But it looks like she rides towards the breakaway pretty easily. The rider from Dolcini NM Transport. Belgian team. Ooh, some gearing problems. Oh, we have a mechanical for the leader in the race. Wow, this is such a big development going on here. Of course, her team car, the Team USA car, will be the first in the convoy, her having the yellow jersey. But this is interesting. This is the way that Megan Jestrup potentially could lose this race. What happened there? Was it a problem with her gearing? Was it a flat tire? We couldn't see what was happening there. But of course, hopefully, or maybe, the other riders have heard, and of course this is racing. It might not always be ethical to attack when the race leader is down, but it's now up to Megan Jestrup herself to close down. It was a pretty fast bike change, I should say, because the USA team mechanic jumped out of the car and already had the spare bike of Megan Jestrap at the ready for her. And she is closing down on the peloton already in the convoy. That is pretty powerful for this American rider. She still has about 4 kilometers to close down the gap. But she has to sprint towards some seconds as well. And Silke Smulders is awfully strong today. And she tries to break away. Yet she has to commit to this chase now. She has to believe in herself. We have seen that she did a solo attack in the first stage. But this is good territory for her because it's a tailwind. And a tailwind is very beneficial if you want to try to break free. There has to be a reaction from the team at the bunch now. Of course, not the VV Schijndel, because their teammate is here, but the other teams have to try. Team GB has to try, and also the APB team has to try to close down this move. Like a steam train, she is back. The leader in the race, Megan Jestrap, a big upset with that mechanical there, but a very swift action by the USA Cycling team mechanic, who had the bike at the ready, and it only cost her about 10 to 15 seconds. That's how it should be done. Silke Smulders and her chasers, Leonard, Curigné, Julie de Wilde, Zoe Perez and Elionette King. And at the bunch, we still don't see a committed chase, an organized chase to get back Silke Smulders. And you can see the 5 chasers, they're having huge trouble to close down that relatively small gap. And now the British riders are committing to the chase with Eleanor Buxted here. Elena Smith is the rider with number 60. On her wheel is Sophie Lewis. And we have an attack from, again, Danique Hengeveld. It would be fantastic if you saw all her attacks being rewarded with a good result. And she tries to bridge across, and then Eleanor Buxted is waiting at the front. This is cat and mouse, and Silke Smulders is awfully strong here at the front of the race. She has a tailwind, which is beneficial if you attack solo. And she is not looking back. She is giving everything. 3 kilometers left for Silke Smulders. Are the VV Schijndel doing it again? A solo attack. Yesterday Femke Gerritsen, and today Silke Smulders. We can see that the yellow jersey is back at the front of the bunch already. Megan Jestrap, after that mechanical, she is back, and she will be trying to sprint for another stage victory. The 5 chasers are now caught back. Smulders just keeps on pushing. She's a really small rider, but there's a lot of power in her. And she tries to attack over and over again. A second-year junior rider, Silke Smulders. Which means that this is her second healthy aging tour, but this move is countered. We can see Maud Rijnbeek at the front, one of the Norwegian girls, also the rider from Lithuania, Akvile Gedratite. And it looks like we are going towards another bunch sprint. Zoe Perez is marking moves there for her team captain. Another attack from the French riders. You've got one chance to do it, one chance to give it your all and ride a 2K or less than 2K time trial and go for victory here. It's not easy, but it's the only way to avoid a bunch sprint, and the French rider knows that. That was a good turn she took there. We're in the north of the Netherlands, and we're going towards Midwolda for the finish of this third and last stage. We're now in Oostwold, and then we get to the last kilometer. It's approaching that last kilometer for the rider with number 7, Amandine Fouquenet, for the national team from France. And she will be anxiously awaiting that red kite and that last kilometer, because she will be hurting, I can promise you that. But Amandine Fouquenet, she's trying everything. '18th yesterday, 25th in the first stage. And then she tries and tries. There is the kite for the last kilometer, and that can be a pretty long kilometer for Amandine Fouquenet. 18 years of age, she turned 18 in February. Gloria van Mechelen in the Cannibal Team jersey. She's taking the bike path. Officially, that is not allowed. But we'll see. Fouquenet, she keeps that gap, and she will be close to the barriers, knowing that it's only 250 meters. This is a very valiant effort. She was 30th in Gent-Wevelgem, and this is her first healthy aging tour. On the left, you can see that British Cycling are bringing Eleanor Backstedt to the front. On the wheel of Eleanor Backstedt is already Megan Jestrab, and it seems like Amandine Fouquenet is not going to make it. We're going to watch a bunch sprint. We're going to watch a bunch sprint. The French rider is not going to make it. It was a very valiant effort, but she's not going to make it. On the left side of the road, the APB riders through the middle. It's Eleanor Backstedt. We're going to see a sprint with Backstedt and Jestrab again. Is Jestrab going to make it a second win? Yes, she is going to make it a second win. Without a doubt, a second win for Megan Jestrab. And she takes the overall. Well, you have been watching one of the big new names for the future. Her name is Megan Jestrab. She rides for Team USA and is part of the Rally Pro Cycling team. She already rides with the big girls on junior gearing, and this was one amazing victory. Ilse Grit comes in second, means that she takes 6 bonification seconds in. And I think that will get her to 4th place, just outside of the podium. Gonna wait for the official results. But Jestrab wins the stage. Ilse Grit second, and I think Eleanor Backstedt was 3rd, taking 4 bonus seconds. But it's not going to be enough to beat this remarkable young lady from California. And you saw her first here in the Healthy Aging Tour. The first time ever we have a live stream for you of a junior women race. The results of today: Megan Jestrab wins the last stage and the overall. Ilse Grit is second. Eleanor Backstedt third.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was a slowdown in the bunch, and someone slammed over. Took out my front wheel, and it just broke all the spokes. Luckily, my team was first. Thank you. So I just grabbed a spare bike and then just chased. And then it was kind of like, I moved up pretty quickly in the bunch. I looked for openings and took them. And then, yeah, it was nice because I already had a teammate in the breakaway, so I was comfortable with that. And then had everyone up there making sure I was safe. So I owe a lot to the team today. They were amazing.
But you still had to do it, the last part, yourself.
Yeah.
Were you worried about the energy you wasted?
Yeah, my heart rate, I was trying to like calm myself going through the bunch because I was stressed a little bit, but I think the adrenaline also helped. So I just wanted to finish it off for the team too, because they rode amazing the whole day today and made sure I stayed in GC, so it was awesome.
It's quite a season for you. You were second twice and you won the rest.
Yeah, it was a great European trip, and I just had a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just like Roy asked Megan Jastrab, if you look at her Nations Cup season, she came in first in Alfredo Binda, second in Gent-Wevelgem behind Eleanor Buxted, first in the first stage, second in the second stage, and first in the third stage here in Healthy Aging Tour, taking the overall win. So she is absolutely the next best thing. Team USA with the national champion Katie Clouds, with Zoe Taperez, and with Ava Sykes, and of course the woman in yellow, Megan Jastrab. And another rider from Team USA. She rides for the Cannibal team. Her name is Jane Tullis, on the right side of the road. Next year we'll have 4 days, I've just been informed, and it's going to be an exciting development in junior women. We have had a nice acquaintance with this remarkable young lady, Megan Jastrab. This will be her first year in the junior women, and she is already a top favourite for the world title in Yorkshire. But that, of course, is 5 months away. And Eleanor Buxted, coming from the UK, will challenge her amongst other riders. It was very nice to join you here on this live stream of the first ever Healthy Aging Tour Junior Women Nations Cup live registration for television. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget that we're going to see the last stage of the elite women at 2 p.m. on the same channel you are watching right now. Thank you very much for watching. My name is José Been, and I hope to see you again next year on the Healthy Aging Tour in the Netherlands.